There's challenger, the Eagle. Cold scene pregame here in Philadelphia. Unbelievably warm day for New Year's Day. 49 degrees, wind not a factor, and it is sunny and perfect in Philadelphia for Week 17 between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Dallas, everyone talking about how they're going to approach this game. They are really banged up, especially on the defensive line. They've got 4 guys out. Tyron Smith, the left tackle, out with a knee injury. Those are the big ones today. Cowboys won the toss. They receive, and here we go. The NFL on Fox. Final regular season week is underway. The Cowboys will start it off, and we will see Dak Prescott on the field first. How long he'll go, we don't know, but we know he's starting this game, and what a rookie year he's had.
Oh, phenomenal, Kevin. From the start, poised. So much worry when Tony Romo went down, and he quelled that worry right away with his play. He's been solid all year, and I think the biggest component that's come on of late, the down the field pass, and this offense has so many layers.
Tony Romo, of course, has been out all year and then inactive once he got healthy. And maybe we see him today. And Darren McFadden is the guy who's going to get the ball on first down and not go very far. You know, we talked to Jason Garrett the other day. How is he going to manage this thing? And I don't know that he was totally sure at the time on Friday, but it looks like Ezekiel Elliott might not be seeing the field at all, John.
Well, I think Jason Garrett, usually so forthright, was very Belichickian this week. He wasn't given much in terms. He did not tell us Ezekiel Elliott would not be playing. And look, right now, he cut his tape right before the game. It does not look like he's going to be in there.
And I think they want to get McFadden going, too, get him ready for the play. Here's Prescott, got some pressure, and he completes to McFadden to stiff arm, and a good move, who works his way out about 2 yards shy of a first down. So a 3rd and short is coming up.
You know, Kevin, it's not a bad deal when Ezekiel Elliott, your top back, is out. Next in line are Darren McFadden and Alfred Morris, both guys who have had a lot of success in this league in their own right.
John, the other thing, we told you Tyron Smith is out. Also, Ronald Leary. The Cowboys used up all their 7 inactives because they're that banged up right now. But Ronald Leary is not starting this game at left guard either. So they've got Emmett Cleary and Joe Looney on the left side of that line. Something to pay attention to. 3rd and 1. 4-man rush. First down is Cole Beasley who's got the catch. And he's out to the 38 for a Cowboys first.
And one thing that was apparent to me from the very start of this season was that there was a chemistry that was almost instant between Dak Prescott and Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley becomes the leading receiver on this team out of the slot. We talked to Dak Prescott this week, and he said, I like him because he gets open. He has all year long.
He's had a career year. That's a career high catch-wise. It's 21 more than he had last season. On first down, they were running. McFadden goes backwards. A nice play by Malcolm Jenkins, who's had himself a wonderful season at safety. Eagles defense, John, they got off to a rip-roaring start, but since week 11, they have certainly tailed off.
You see the play by Malcolm Jenkins right there, going to shoot the gap, get in their backfield. Kevin, you alluded to the season that Malcolm Jenkins has been having. I think an all-pro season. He plays the safety position very well, also goes in the slot and covers the best receivers in football very well.
2nd down. Eagles come with the blitz. Prescott ball is tipped and incomplete. So the Eagles showing pressure. Rodney McLeod came in and got a piece of that football. 3rd and long.
Jim Schwartz being very aggressive last week versus the New York Giants. Only a few blitzes throughout the entire game. They really relied on a 4-man rush, which didn't result in a lot of sacks, but there was consistent pressure for Jim Schwartz's defense all night long against Eli Manning.
This defense has improved from last year, though. Lance Dunbar comes into the game at running back for Dallas on a 3rd and 14. 4-man rush. Here comes pressure. Prescott has to get rid of it. Brandon Graham came in and applied the pressure. And the Cowboys will punt.
Well, you get in that 3rd and 14. Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, he dials up the screen pass, but Fletcher Cox, very astute all over it, does not let the screen ever develop. And
so here is Darren Sproles. Eagles special teams have been fantastic not only this year, but really for the last 3 years. Sproles, one of the big reasons on the punt returns, and Jones will punt it away. A little bit wobbly. Sproles will let it go. Takes a good Cowboys bounce, and Philadelphia will start inside their own 20. We'll get to see Carson Wentz scoreless in this first quarter from Philly.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
Happy New Year to you on week 17 of the NFL's regular season from Philadelphia. Carson Wentz in his rookie year. He's had his ups, he's had his downs, but he's had some pretty good moments in a year that initially wasn't even supposed to start. It was supposed to be Sam Bradford. But the Eagles like what they have at quarterback going forward. So here was Philadelphia, and giving it Darren Sproles, he is still doing it at age 33. He's still got the same moves, and he picks up 5 yards on that first down. One notable omission, John. Looks like Sean Lee not starting this game on defense for Dallas. So Elliott and Lee are the two guys seem to be on the sideline early.
And you can understand with Sean Lee right there. It says it all. Never played in all 16 games in the 5 previous seasons. He's a guy who struggled to stay healthy. So when you've already got your seed locked, he's a guy that you would like to rest throughout this game.
And we get movements. So we'll see Walt Coleman for the first time, our referee today. Walt's 22nd year as a referee.
Encroachment, number 95, defense, 5-yard penalty, and a first down.
That's on David Irving. Meanwhile, for this Eagles team, you almost forget they started 3-0, and they started red hot behind Wentz. I mean, they were rolling, and the points were rolling too, but then came back down to reality.
But again, as I said in the open, the nice thing is the last couple games, Carson Wentz has really turned his season around, using the whole field, using the whole offense, and running more, Kevin, to open up the pass game.
First down, Wentz over the middle and has a completion. He finds the tight end, Zach Ertz. Ertz going to pick up nearly 9 on that first down.
Kevin, talking to Doug Peterson on the field, little things like that are the subtleties of the game. Carson Wentz instinct. Doug Peterson played behind Brett Favre for a long time. He said they're very similar. He wants to attack downfield. He's had to learn in the NFL there's a time and place to do that. You can't always go down the field. Sometimes you got to take those little checkdowns like he did right there.
Second down, it's Sproles stretching left, first down for Philadelphia. Hey, look at this Cowboys defense under Rod Marinelli, and they have done a fantastic job. I remember, John, we had them early in the year, and we're asking, where are the sacks, where are the pressures going to come from? Not exactly the name bunch that you would know, but you know what, in December, they're really producing.
Well, I love it. Rod Marinelli refers to them affectionately as his little orphans. No, you know, the no-name defense. Sean Lee, the big name, but collectively they've been very good, and they are very good in the second half. In the fourth quarter, they like to wear people out with their speed, with their energy, with their constant pressure.
First down, they'll go with the fake. Wentz on the roll, is going to sling it out and hit the tight end once again. Makes a move, and a first down for Philadelphia.
A great job on the boot game, and this is something that Doug Peterson has talked about with Carson Wentz. Watch the block down, and you're going to see Byron Jones fly into the top of your screen, not minding his luggage. You got to keep your eyes on your man. He doesn't. Carson Wentz takes advantage of it with a nice bootleg and good accurate pass to Zach Ertz.
So the Eagles on the move, help with a penalty too. Fifth play of their opening drive. Scoreless first quarter in Philadelphia. They'll get it out there quickly. That's Aguilar, and he gets tackled immediately by Andrew Gachkar, who seems to be picking up the reps for Sean Lee in this early going for Dallas. You know, it's interesting, John. We're talking to Jason Garrett, and everyone, the narrative is, well, you're going to rest everybody. Take 7 inactives. You've got, what, 46 active players. They've only got 6 offensive linemen who I think are healthy, even though Leary dressed. You don't have a ton of leeway of guys you can rest.
And so it looks like essentially they've picked 2 guys, Ezekiel Elliott and Sean Lee, that they really would like to rest. They see as integral to their success. Otherwise, you have to play people.
Sproles is playing, and he's running hard like he has all year. He is inside the 40, and Darren Sproles going to pick up 6 yards.
like he has his whole career. You know, we're supposed to be unbiased, as you see Nelson Aguilar limp a little bit as announcers, but this guy, you can't help but love him. I loved him when I played against him because you have so much respect. A little guy that plays big and has a huge impact. Darren Sproles, a great player in this league.
Nelson Aguilar limps off, former first-round pick last year. He doesn't seem to be too thrilled, so Bryce Treggs will take his spot. And a 3rd down and 4 from the Cowboy 40. Time. Wentz firing. Complete over the middle. It is Ertz. Big start for the Eagles tight end. And another first down.
It's a great job by Carson Wentz. He's going to see right here the linebacker void the middle of the field to come take the short route. That opens up the big gap right there. And he fires an accurate strike to Zach Ertz right across the middle. That's what we've seen. We saw early in the year the accuracy from Carson Wentz. I think after that they weren't getting much separation and it kind of wore on him. He's back to throwing the football accuracy. That's a good sign for the Eagles.
He started 4 for 4 for 37 yards, and on first down they will run to Sproles, and he gets buried. Randy Gregory came on to make the play. We saw him for the first time last week after a drug suspension.
There he is right there. Rod Marinelli preaches get off. He preaches get in their backfield. And Randy Gregory does it to perfection right there. They're an attacking defense, not in the fact that they're blitzing all the time, but he wants get off. He wants sprinting to the football. And Randy Gregory fits into that type of style of play very well.
So this week on the Dallas defensive line, they put one guy, Ryan Davis, on IR, and they've got 4 guys inactive today who they're all legitimately hurt. Good news for them is they've got the bye to rest up for the playoffs. 2nd and long on the fake. Wentz all day. Another strike from Carson Wentz inside the 20. It's Paul Turner who's got the grab, and now a 3rd and makeable coming up.
Now, one thing in talking to Doug Peterson, he said part of the deal with the success, as you see Paul Turner work his way open, of Carson Wentz as a play caller, Doug Peterson said, I had to learn Carson Wentz. One thing he discovered, he loves play action pass. When he play action pass, the percentage of completion goes up and the yards per attempt goes up. He's an excellent play action passer. They've realized that. Now, part of that, you got to have a good run game to set up the play action.
Hey, Ford Tokyo!
Play clock at 1. They will get it off the run. Sproles, a little move. Darren Sproles, great run. And Sproles down to the 7 with the juke. And he picked up 11.
Yeah, the great thing right here, you're seeing the development of Carson Wentz. That was a blitz. And so what did Carson Wentz do? He saw the pressure there. He audibilized to a run away from the blitz. This is above the neck football that we're seeing from Carson Wentz. So part of the development, not just the accurate throws, the feet, the mechanics. He's starting to figure this game out above the neck. He sees the blitz, you run away from it. Great job by Carson Wentz.
11th play of the drive. Sproles up the gut, still going, fighting his way down inside the 3. There goes Aguilar to the locker room. Eagles without Jordan Matthews today. He's got an ankle injury, so they're thin at the wide receiver spot. John, they're also thin at running back. You know, Sproles has been getting a lot of reps all year long, but they've got one guy in Byron Marshall who just came up a couple weeks ago, and he's going to be featured a little bit today. And then they've got another guy, Terrell Watson, who they just signed to the practice squad 2 weeks ago because they got Matthews hurt and Smallwood and IR. So it's like, introduce yourself and go play running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. Sproles in motion, 2nd and goal. Wentz in trouble, ducks out of a sack, and then dumps it off to Burton, trying to make people miss, but he's not going to go anywhere. So it could have been a big loss, and instead Burton finds his way maybe for a loss of 1.
I think one thing that everyone's learning about Carson Wentz, maybe a little bit of a better athlete than people expected. You see the elusiveness right there, eyes downfield, finds Burton, but then the hustle of this Cowboys defense to react to the little check down. They swarm to the football. It shows up on film.
13th play of the drive. It'll be a 3rd down and goal. Wentz firing, end zone, incomplete. He was looking for the tight end, Zach Ertz, but Byron Jones had coverage.
Well, Kevin, I think in Byron Jones, they have a unique weapon in that he's a safety who has played corner in his first year. He plays the nickel a lot. So you got all these tight ends, the Jordan Reeds, the Travis Kelce's. No one matches up. In size, Byron Jones doesn't, but he plays much bigger than his size. He's a really good matchup and a unique weapon that the Dallas Cowboys have for these tight ends that are terrorizing the league because of the matchup problem.
This will be a 21-yard field goal attempt for Caleb Sturgis. Put the Eagles on the board. Play clock has run out, but no signal. Kick is up and good. So Sturgis puts Philadelphia on the board on an opening drive, and you know who's happy? Eagles fans, including Mike Trout, the two-time AL MVP. Oh, yeah.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light. Strike gold and you can win Super Bowl tickets for life.
So the Eagles with a long scoring drive, 14 plays, 79 yards, took over 8 minutes, but they have to settle for a field goal. They mark it officially as 22 yards. And Ezekiel Elliott is, well, he's bored. John?
He saw his Ohio State team get whipped up on last night as well, so probably not in a really good mood. His college team gets whipped up, and then he told sit on the bench all day.
I don't think he knew that he wasn't going to play because they cut off his tape right before game time. So he's like, wait, what? Eagles in the lead. We'll see Dak Prescott maybe and the Cowboys. Maybe it'll be Romo. Who knows?
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Ram Trucks, America's longest-lasting pickups. By Sprint. Visit Sprint.com. Switch and save today. And by the $10 any pizza carryout deal, only at Pizza Hut.
We are back in Philadelphia. Happy New Year to you and yours. Along with John Lynch, Pam Oliver on the sidelines. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Glad to have you aboard. The regular season finale in the NFL. A lot at stake today. We'll keep you updated with all the games. They're still partying from the new year. Here comes Dallas, their second possession, trailing 3-0. Alfred Morris in the game at running back now. We saw McFadden the first series, and they'll fake it. Prescott, look at the room. He's going to decide to tuck and run and probably slide for safety reasons. Let's go down to the sideline and say hello to Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Kevin. Even an hour before the game, when I talked to Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett, he remained very vague about his team, as he had pretty much all week. I said, please tell me the timetable for your starters today. He says there is no timetable. We've got some young guys that we do want to see, but obviously wants to keep a lot of those guys healthy. Now, as far as the Tony Romo and Mark Sanchez thing, we saw Romo throwing a little bit earlier. I said, please explain that a little bit better. He said that whoever plays, he just wants to get a feel for them and see how long they are going to go. You talked about Sean Lee. Jerry Jones told me before the game that he's one of those players that we want to keep limited. Lee probably very upset because he desperately wanted to play. Kevin?
Yeah, that means a lot to Lee. And, you know, Jason Garrett, Pam's pretty persuasive, John, so Jason Garrett didn't reveal it to her. I really wonder if he told some of his guys. Just with the Elliott thing, Rabbit taking off the tape right before game. He looked like he didn't know it was coming.
Well, listen, you want a great week of practice, and if you're not playing, you shut off some of that energy. And so, if so, a great move by Jason Garrett.
There's Prescott, though, and that is a completion over the middle to Terrence Williams. And that's a first down for Dallas.
Kevin, the thing that has been stunningly good on Dak Prescott when you study him is his accuracy. You look at this ball, I mean, it is just a beautiful thing. And you look at the ball placement. What is great ball placement? Not only does it complete passes, but it allows for the yards after the catch. All year long, he's been on point. It's remarkable how good he's been in that facet of the game.
Well, he comes into the game at 68% completions. That's fourth in the NFL. On first down, they will pitch it to Morris, the former Redskin, with a good run over that left side. A couple substitutes on that side today. Speaking of Dak Prescott, I mean, his year outstanding for anyone, let alone any rookie in this league. 13 wins, that ties the rookie record held by Ben Roethlisberger of the Steelers. And then what else has he done? 11 games with a rating of over 100. It's the most all time by rookie. It's the most ever for any Cowboy quarterback. And then we're talking about this. His accuracy the last 2 weeks has been stunningly good. And John, you like that number down below? 10.6 yards per attempt?
I think that's the biggest development, and that's got defenses around the league saying, watch out. We've got our hands full because the run game has been so effective all year. The boot game, the controlled passing game has been great. What's been off, they haven't been attacking downfield. In the last couple weeks, Des Bryant has come along, and that's a lot of the chemistry between Dak Prescott and Des Bryant that has developed in the last couple weeks. And now it's just like, who do you try to stop? You try to stop Ezekiel. You got the one-on-ones outside. They exposed that last week with Des Bryant. So they're clicking on all cylinders. It's a hot team, and Dak Prescott's a smoking hot quarterback going into the playoffs.
3 for 5 so far today. Penalty flies. Prescott firing high and incomplete. But let's see what the flag is here. Showing Jason Witten there, John. Could be a historic day from him. He's 27 yards from the Cowboys' all-time receiving
illegal
yards
formation
record.
for 63. Offense was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Okay, Dallas moves back. More on Witten in a moment. Game break. Let's get our first of the day with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. Happy New Year. So the Cowboys, the #1 seed in the NFC, with a win, the Patriots will lock up the #1 seed in the AFC, and this helps. Michael Floyd, Brady's newest target, has them up 14-0. Kevin, John, and Pam.
Yep, they're trying to get the #1 seed and have it go through New England again. Happy New Year to you, Carissa. 1st and 15 after the penalty. Lance Dunbar in the game at back. Prescott has time, lets it fly, looking for Beasley. A little high, maybe a little late. Malcolm Jenkins comes over on the coverage. You know, John, just talking about Jason Witten, I said that there as well. Coleman was about to announce the penalty. Think about that. 27 yards and the all-time Cowboy. All these great receivers that play for Dallas, and he's going to be #1.
What a remarkable career for Jason Witten, and so many people are pulling for him to get to that final game, to get to the Super Bowl, because it's only fitting for the career that he's had that he should be a champion.
He's been a warrior. Michael Irvin, by the way, the all-time leader right now. Here's Prescott. There is Jason Witten. He makes his first grab of the day. That sounded loud even all the way up here in the press box. On the 3rd and 5.
You know what you love about a guy like Jason Witten in his 14th year? It's almost like Greg Maddux late in his career. He doesn't rely on that fastball anymore. There's not a great deal of separation, but he knows how to get open. He knows how to use his body position. He's got great chemistry and understanding with Dak Prescott as well.
First quarter about to wind down. 1 second. They don't have to run it, and they won't run it. And the whistle blows, and that'll be the end of the first quarter from Philadelphia. So the Cowboys trying to finish out their regular season strong, but it's the Eagles up 3-0 after 1 from Philly. Start the second quarter from Philadelphia, and the Eagles with a 3-0 lead over the Cowboys. Dallas 13 wins on the year. They have wrapped up home field in the #1 seed, just trying to continue their momentum against the Eagles, who come into this one 6-9, but off a win over the Giants. 3rd down and 5 to start the second. Blitz. Prescott gets decked. Ball's floating up there, and it's incomplete. As all the Dallas faithful hold their breaths every time Prescott gets hit today. Malcolm Jenkins on the pressure.
And you like it from Jim Schwartz. You see Malcolm Jenkins coming from the outside. Last week, as I alluded to, against Eli Manning and the Giants, barely any blitz pressure. Today, he's bringing the blitz pressure often, and you see Malcolm Jenkins being very effective getting to Dak Prescott.
So they'll try a field goal from Dan Bailey from 49 yards out. He is 15 of 15 in his career against the Eagles. And this one is up, and it is good. So we're all tied at 3 from Philadelphia. Cowboys, Eagles, we're back.
With the first pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Jared Goff, Carson Wentz,
Paxton Lynch,
Christian Hackenberg,
Jacoby Brissett,
Cody Kessler,
Connor Cook,
Dak Prescott, quarterback, Mississippi State. Go Cowboys!
Well, I think the Prescott thing has worked out. And, John, I know you feel like Wentz has had his moments, but you think that's going to work out, too. Here's what's happened. I mean, Wentz, obviously the second overall pick. Prescott went to the 4th round. Everybody biting their lip on missing that one because he has been unbelievable this year. But I know you think that Wentz has that same type of ceiling, don't you?
Yeah, I think the big difference is what's surrounding each of these guys. Dak Prescott has everything you want. Greatness surrounding him. Carson Wentz not there yet.
So here's Byron Marshall will take, and the Eagles start on their own 25-yard line. And yeah, Happy New Year. Welcome to Philadelphia. He's John Lynch, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. It's okay. Dak Prescott started. Ezekiel Elliott not. How about as a player in these type of games? I mean, is it hard to get the same energy to kind of do what you've been doing all year?
Well, you know what's at stake. You know, and I've been in the Dallas Cowboys position. It's a really tough balancing act because you want to be healthy, but you got to keep getting better. I'll never forget being 13-3 in Denver in 2005. We rested a lot of players. We got a little rusty. Pittsburgh came in hot off a wild card game, beat us in our own stadium. So big part of the challenge. Do you want to be, yes, healthy? Absolutely. But I think more important is keeping hot, staying hot. And that's a great balancing act. And Jason Garrett, I think, is doing a fine job.
So it's 1st and 10 for Carson Wentz. Blitz coming. Wentz eluding and throws incomplete as he hit by Irving as he let it go. I think people underestimate just how long that bye. The bye's great. You get your guys healthy, and Dallas is banged up, but they've been playing so well. Don't want to lose that.
See Hitchens going to blitz, bring the pressure. There's David Irvin, who's been unblockable. He's looked like Deacon Jones of late in the last 2 games, and Anthony Hitchens putting the pressure on Carson Wentz.
Nelson Aguilar, by the way, we saw him go out earlier with an ankle injury. His return is questionable. 2nd down. 4-man rush, going to set up a little screen to Sproles. Gets a block, makes a move. There's Darren Sproles doing his thing out for a 12-yard gain, and he got a good block from Kelsey.
You watch Darren Sproles. Looks like he's going to chip. He sneaks out. There's big Brandon Brooks and Kelsey in front of him. He sets up his block so well. And believe me, from having played against him, he hides behind those big blockers. You can't see the guy. And then here comes a burst of Darren Sproles.
Terrell Watson in the game at tailback for the first time. And here's his first carry. And he gets hit pretty good initially by Andrew Gashcard. John, this guy is an unbelievable story. They just got him to the practice squad a couple weeks ago, and here he is making his debut. But what a life he's had to get here.
Yeah, an incredible story, really. You know, struggled with some learning disabilities, some speech impediments, battled through that, and here he is, and now he's getting his opportunity. You love stories like this. Doug Peterson likes him. He said he's a big back, kind of like Niall Davis, who they had in Kansas City, between the tackles type of runner.
Getting a little chance today with all the injuries at running back for the Eagles. Throw it here. Wentz, a lot of time over the middle. No, dropped. Normally reliable hands from Brent Selleck, but he couldn't haul it in.
And even there, you see Carson Wentz going through his progressions, delivers a nice, accurate ball, and you've seen a lot more of this. In the middle of that season, I think the pressure of throwing to guys who just weren't getting open, it affected him. You saw a lot of high balls across the middle. His mechanics have come back to him, and it's led to him being very sharp here of late for the Eagles.
He's had a good start, but this is 3rd down and 9. Wentz, pressure, steps away, now dancing, spinning, trying to reset and just floats one to nowhere. Incomplete. So Wentz, after that good start, has now missed his last 4, and the Eagles will punt.
It's a dangerous throw there. You know, he tries to extend, stay alive. But typically balls like this, late across the middle, they end up badly for quarterbacks in this league. A dangerous throw. That's one who'll look at it in the offseason and say, okay, I can't do that.
You know, Rod Marinelli, when we talked to him, he said, you know, he looked like Favre against the Giants. Favre had a couple of those too, John.
Yeah, he had a lot of those.
As great as he was. Here is Lucky Whitehead on a great punt, too, from Jones. Whitehead kind of knifes through out to the 19 after a big punt of 52 yards, 8 yards on the return. Will it be Prescott? Will we see number 9 for the Cowboys? Back in Philly in a moment. It has been a tough couple years for Tony Romo. Last year in Philadelphia, Jordan Hicks with this hit landed on his collarbone, and he broke it. That started how things went for Romo. Then he broke it again later in the year. Same collarbone, had to have surgery again. And that continued in the preseason, week 3 against Seattle. The compression fracture to his L1 vertebrae, 6 to 10 week recovery, then came back, and Dak and the Cowboys playing so well, he sat on the bench. And guess what? His 2016 debut, now 17, is right now.
And listen, there's been a lot of talk. Should he play or should he not? I think absolutely he should. You want your number 2 quarterback ready and primed. You need game reps to be ready. This is good for the Cowboys in my mind.
And so Romo will take control. So Prescott a couple series and 3 points, and he's done 4 of 8 for 37 yards. Here's Romo's first pass of the season, and he's going to let it fly. Going deep for Williams, incomplete. Leotis McKelvin had a beat on that ball. Well, might as well come out swinging, John. Why not?
Absolutely. And Tony won't be happy with Terrence Williams, because Terrence Williams, I don't think, was expecting that ball to come to him, kind of jogging down the sidelines. Romo let it go, and Terrence Williams not ready for the occasion.
Tony Romo, the all-time leader for the Cowboys in touchdown passes in yards. 78 and 49 regular season record. 2 and 4 in the playoffs. Just a chance to knock off some of the rust in case he's needed in this postseason. Pitch to McFadden. McFadden looked for some blocks, and he's cut off. Jordan Hicks really broke that play up.
Jordan Hicks is a fine piece moving forward in his second year out of the University of Texas, right in the middle of that defense. An extremely instinctive player right there, beats Travis Frederick, the fine center, to the perimeter to make the tackle.
All of those team records by Romo in Dallas. 3rd and 11. Garrett was trying to call timeout. He didn't get it. And Romo fires complete to Williams, and he's got a first down.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, it always has been a pretty thing to watch Tony Romo throw the football. Really nice route by Terrence Williams. And then just watch that quick release that we've grown to know from Tony Romo, on the money. There's Dak Prescott cheering for his buddy, as Romo has been for him all year. And Kevin, listen, you can practice all you want. I can tell you, and particularly at his position.
This is McFadden. John reverses field. Darren McFadden into Philadelphia territory. And he's down to the 43. It's a big run of 24.
Yeah, a tremendous run from Darren McFadden. Going to see the hole develop here. But then a tremendous job by Jason Witten setting up that cutback alley. There's Keith Smith blocking, and then the speed that Darren McFadden has always had. Excellent backup they've got, but Tony Romo, as I was saying, you can practice all you want. I don't care if you're in your 14th year. You need game reps. And Tony Romo's getting those right now. I really think this is positive for him and for the Cowboys.
Romo back to pass, going to dump it over the middle. McFadden makes a man miss. Straight ahead for Darren McFadden, and he's got another first down with a gain of 11. You know, it was interesting. We talked to Jason Garrett about Romo, right, John? And just that difference about playing and getting some game reps. And you could tell he certainly wanted to, depending on how the game was going, get him in there today. And he said, look, I spent my whole life trying to simulate games and practice. You know, Garrett was a good backup quarterback in this league for a lot of years, so he knows the role. Romo going to throw, going to let it fly, going far sideline, incomplete, and there's a flag. That'll be pass interference on Nolan Carroll. Des Bryant, the intended receiver.
And it should have been pass interference. He panicked at the moment of truth, and this has been a problem for the Eagles corners all year long, playing the ball down the field in good position. One thing you can't do as a DB is panic.
Pass interference, number 22, defense. Automatic first down.
You see the contact by Nolan Carroll, and it's something that has to improve. A lot of other positive things in this defense. Their corners down the field just have not played the ball well down the field, and it's really hurt them in terms of the big plays. And when you get a penalty downfield, that's a big play. It might as well be a explosive pass.
They've allowed 70 of those explosive plays, 31st in the league. Been an Achilles heel. Romo, little pump and go, firing, touchdown. Terrence Williams. Romo comes in and Romo scores.
That was a nice little play. They showed the little smoke route behind the line of scrimmage. Romo pumps, then he turns it up the field. That was beautiful. Look at Terrence Williams. Act like he's going to come behind the line of scrimmage, put the old okey doke on him. Romo delivers a strike.
Maybe the best part, John, is that now the national headline writers can write there's a quarterback controversy in Dallas. It's got to feel good for Tony, though. Boy, he's been through a lot. With all these injuries the last couple of years, been such a tremendous player. I'm sure it's been hard for him to watch. But he gets out and he delivers a touchdown. The Cowboys take the lead on Philadelphia. Tony Romo, Dak Prescott. They've got a couple quarterbacks that can play. Cowboys in the lead. Jerry Jones liking it.
Is sponsored by Chevrolet. More 2016 J.D. Power Dependability Awards than any other brand.
Watch every live 2017 NFL playoff game in HD, all data free on NFL Mobile. Is that the sign to the bullpen, John, right there?
I think if we were listening to NFL Mobile and we heard that conversation, nice drive, Tony. Now sit down, put that ball cap on, and great job.
I don't think he even broke a sweat out there. Romo 3 of 4, 30 yards and a touchdown on his first action of the season. And a booming kick. Eagles a start on the 25. Dak Prescott, what a year he's had, and he enjoyed watching Romo go down the field. Cowboys looking for their 14th win, up 10-3. 10-3 Cowboys. Had this little exchange a moment ago. Romo giving the fist bump to Mark Sanchez. You're in. So it looks like one series and out for Romo. Just got a chance to knock the rust off a little bit back here in the second quarter. 10-3 Dallas, and here come the Eagles from their own 25. With Wentz, who will give it to Sproles. Sprinting left, gets a block, and Sproles out to the 32 before Gregory made the stop. Well, they got Romo in the game, John, and I guess mission accomplished, right?
Yeah, you know what? We heard a lot all week about maybe you don't want to play Romo because if he goes out and has a series like that, as you were joking going to the break, that we have a quarterback controversy. I think Tony Romo has helped to dispel that. This is Dak Prescott's team. He's had a sensational season leading this team. You're going to go with Dak Prescott, but you need your backup to be ready in case. And I think they accomplished both of those things today. Dak got some action. Tony Romo comes in, gets some real positive action.
Marshall almost dropped the toss. It was a little behind him, and he's not going to go anywhere for Byron Marshall. I think you forget. You go back to New England's first Super Bowl, Brady's first run. Drew Bledsoe came in through a touchdown in the championship game, so you just don't know if he's going to be needed.
But always be ready. And look, Dak Prescott's been phenomenal. One thing that Dak Prescott has done that I love is he's talked about how helpful Tony Romo has been to him as a confidant, as a guy saying, look, you've scored twice in a row. Expect the blitz necessary. Little subtleties. Tony Romo's been a professional through and through.
Third down for Wentz in Philadelphia. They will run it here to Sproles, and he is going to get slammed backwards. That had no chance, and David Irving is having quite a start to this game.
Well, he's quite a player, and he's a guy that Rod Marinelli told us about last year. He's going to be in the middle of this defense, and watch him break loose. There he is coming off the corner. He's so long. He's got the longest wingspan in football at 87 3/4 inches, and he uses that length, the get off. Rod Marinelli, no one teaches D-line play better. This guy's a budding star in the league.
This is Whitehead, makes the catch, shows his speed, and out across the 35. Well, we are playing on New Year's Day. Happy 2017 to everyone watching across the country. It's the 9th year NFL games have been played on New Year's Day. Only the 3rd time in the regular season, though. Some highlights. Why don't we go back to 61, huh? George Blanda, AFL Championship game. Oilers defeat the Chargers. Then in 67, how about the Packers defeating the Cowboys in the NFL Championship? Then in 78, Cowboys hoisting Tom Landry on their shoulders with the NFC Championship game win over the Vikings. Some of the highlights on New Year's Day in the past. And so Mark Sanchez, the former Eagle, of course, former Jet, makes his return. Not too many regular season NFL games that 3 quarterbacks play, but that's the situation today. And so Sanchez, who has played for just a second against the Browns, that's been it, will get his 2nd action of the year. And they will run it to Alfred Morris for a gain of 1. We've got a game break. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, a costly 4th and 1 for the Texans. Tom Savage with the quarterback sneak, and is now sidelined in concussion protocol. Brock Osweiler's in the game. They, of course, will be playing next weekend in the wild card round. Titans up 7-0. Kevin, John, and Pam.
You know, got to give Bill O'Brien credit, John. It seems like whoever plays quarterback, he somehow still has that team winning.
I think he's a fine coach, trained by one of the best in Bill Belichick, and he's doing a nice job down there in Houston.
Sanchez launches an air ball coming to the near side, looking for Gavin Escobar. And a 3rd down and 9 is coming up. Even Sanchez has a laugh at that one. It's interesting. We're talking about, rookies, and this is uncharted territory. No rookie quarterbacks ever won the Super Bowl, right? Not many have won playoff games. Mark Sanchez won a few of them. He took the Jets to 2 AFC Championship games.
Unfortunately, the one play, the butt fumble, has become emblematic of what people think of his career. But you talk about instant success. I did the preseason games in Denver. He played well. The thing that bit him is what's bit him throughout the career, the turnovers. It's the thing he has to stay away from.
And a timeout called by Dallas, their first of the half. We'll take a break as well. 7:25 to go, first half. 10-3 Cowboys.
This game is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott has a sweatshirt on. He hasn't played today. He's going to lead the league in rushing regardless. Had a huge lead today over Le'Veon Bell, who's not playing for the Steelers. And they're without a couple linemen on that left side due to injury, not because they're resting. Tyron Smith out with a knee. Ronald Leary is dressed today, but he's got a back issue, and I don't think they want to play him. The Cowboys only have 6 healthy offensive linemen, which brings up an interesting query. 3rd and 9. There's Sanchez throwing. Dunbar, great catch. And Dunbar, see, they mark him out of bounds. He's close to a 1st down. That mark looks like he's a hair short. And nope, they mark it as a 1st down.
Tell you what, Kevin, you talk about the many layers of this offense. Here's another one. This guy, these are called choice routes. You basically play against the leverage of the linebacker. And we're in the town of Philadelphia. It reminds me of the Allen Iverson crossover, watching this guy run routes. Linebackers cannot cover him. So you've got Dunbar, you've got Cole Beasley, and you've got Jason Witten, all guys who move the chains. It makes them an extremely tough team to stop.
Sanchez firing near side. Is that catch in bounds by Butler? It is. Bryce Butler hauling it in, using all of his 6'3" size to bring it down for a Cowboys 1st down.
That's a tremendous job. That left foot's down. Let's see on that right foot. Left foot down. I don't think the right foot ever gets in.
Let's see. Better angle here. That's close, John. And Doug Peterson has the challenge flag on the field. So this play will be blown dead, and they will take a look.
Look at the catch. We've got control right there. Left foot down. That right foot never touches down.
Philadelphia is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass.
We'll take a break, look at it some more, and so will they look at it upstairs. Eagles challenge.
Today's game is sponsored by Mobile Strike. Download right now, free from the App Store.
Let's get the call from Walt Coleman on this review.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has changed. The receiver only got 1 foot in bounds. Pass is incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Please reset the clock to 6:54, please. 6:54. Philadelphia will not be charged. Timeout.
You called it, John.
Well, how about Doug Peterson right in the nick of time? I mean, he waited right till the end, got one more angle and got that challenge flag out there, feeling pretty good about himself right about now.
Peterson is now 7 of 11 on challenges. It's the most won. It's the most challenges taken in the league. Now I think they're saying, well, wait a second, got to go back 17 yards to respot this thing, fellas. And that's what they're doing right now. Think about the job that Doug Peterson has done in his rookie year, John. And we were on the, we met with him, and I thought he was pretty honest about his own assessment of what he'll do after the year to try and get better.
Yeah, he says he's going to take a hard look at everything. I mean, one thing he's not going to change. He feels pretty good about the job he's done and what he's grown into as a play caller. He's a head coach. He's a play caller. He said, look, I don't think it's affected the game mechanics of being a head coach. So look for him to continue to call plays. One thing he said, I'm going to evaluate everything, the messaging. How effective have I been in my messaging to my team? He had a great role model in Andy Reid, but I like the approach he's taking. Going to be hard on himself. I think he's grown a lot, and right when his team, this has to be a huge offseason for them. They've got to surround Carson Wentz with more talent offensively. If they do that, this could be a really nice deal going forward for the Philadelphia Eagles.
One thing, they have their quarterback, which is the hardest thing to fill. 2nd and 10. Here is Sanchez against some pressure and an athletic interception. I think it was Hicks. It was. What a play by Jordan Hicks to tip it to himself and pick it off.
Well, we broadcasted Jordan Hicks' first start. In his first start, he had an interception, and he hasn't stopped since. This is now his 4th interception. You're going to see him blitz right up the middle. As he blitzes, he comes free, gets his hands up, tips the ball, and then has the athleticism, the concentration to bring it in. Outstanding job by Jordan Hicks.
You said it, his 4th of the year. He's already got 6 in his NFL career in his 2nd season. And he sets the Eagles up in good field position here with 6:49 to go in the half. Philadelphia trailing by 7. Cowboys are looking at Mark Sanchez on the bench. Had his hand got nicked on that play. Here's Wentz. Blitz, pressure comes. Wentz dancing. Now has time, slings it high and incomplete. So he did the job to buy the time, but a high throw over the middle.
I love what Rod Marinelli said, because the more you watch, the more he does remind you a little bit of Brett Favre. These are some of the things Favre used to do. He'd run all over the place, maybe make some throws you're not supposed to make across your body. And Brett Favre made a lot of plays. He also threw a lot of interceptions. I think Carson Wentz, you don't want to take the instinct of the gunslinger approach, but you want to calm it down a little bit, and I think that will be a big part of his growth moving forward.
Doesn't that help, though, if they get some wide receiver additions? I mean, I'm sure that would make it a little bit of a difference here. This run's going to go no place. So they're looking at Mark Sanchez here. He's getting examined. First they're looking at his hand, now apparently the neck. I mean, can you imagine the irony if he can't go back in and Romo has to come back in the game?
Well, that's the this isn't college football where you got 100 guys on the sidelines. You've already played 2 quarterbacks. Tony Romo, you got to be ready. You got to be ready for action if Mark Sanchez indeed can't go.
Find out more about that in a minute. First, a 3rd and 9 for Philadelphia. Wentz. Blitz, it's picked up, coming near side, incomplete. He was looking for Dorial Green Beckham.
It's Brandon Carr. He's had a really nice year, Kevin, and you don't hear about him as one of the better corners because, frankly, he doesn't have the interception numbers. That's not his game, but what he does do, he covers extremely well. He tackles. Brandon Carr having a very fine year for these Dallas Cowboys.
John, his 9th year, he's never missed a game. That's pretty good stuff. Eagles will go 4th and 9. I mean, why not? Last regular season game, they're not going to the playoffs. Going for 4th on the 27th time of the lot. Here's Wentz. Last time over the middle, high, way high, and incomplete. Heath, the Dallas safety, was closest, but that one with no shot. Cowboys take over.
Now this is what you saw kind of in his midseason dip. A lot of high balls across the middle. This goes back to mechanics. Your elbow getting down, the ball sailing on you. Look at him in the pocket. And the ball just sails. It's a dangerous throw in this league, something he's going to have to conquer. He's got some growth in terms of mechanics, but he'll get after that this offseason.
So Wentz, after that red-hot start, is now only 6 of 13. He struggled some. Meanwhile, Sanchez saw him getting worked on. He is back out there, so he will stay in the game. The Eagles failed to do anything with the Jordan Hicks interception. The Cowboys get it right back. 5:53 to go in this first half. With Alfred Morris at tailback. And they'll give it to him, and he will get flattened. Brandon Graham. Honestly, hard to believe Brandon Graham didn't make the Pro Bowl. I'm guessing his sack numbers didn't jump out as a reason why, but he's been great.
And this is what he's been doing all year. In the run game, in the pass game, penetration, tackles behind the line of scrimmage. You know, when you look at the sacks, only 5.5 on the year, believe me, his impact's been much greater. I think he's had an outstanding season. He's a big part of this team moving forward. He and Fletcher Cox up front. Hopefully you can get Vinny Curry to get his presence being a little more effective.
Sanchez with the pump, now decides to run. Not going to go very far. Maybe a yard. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long. John, think about the year for Mark Sanchez. You talked about it earlier. He goes to Denver and looked like, hey, you know, Peyton Manning retires. Sanchez, get the veteran. Doesn't work out. They decide to go young. So then Romo's hurt and Dallas is trying to figure it out. Kellen Moore's hurt. Let's get the veteran quarterback in here. And he ends up being the number 3 quarterback when it's all said and done. What a range of emotions for him.
That's a nice insurance policy. A guy who's been in the playoffs, has played playoff football, been to championship games. Nice to have him as your number 3.
Eagles blitz, but it's picked up. And now no pressure, and Sanchez gets pile driven on the play. But there's penalty flags. Marcus Smith came in with the sack, but the initial indication is Eagles are offsides. Let's see.
One of them, you're going to have a chop block where one of the Dallas Cowboy linemen was up high and Lance Dunbar came and chopped him down low. You see the signal from Walt Coleman right there.
So they're trying to sort this out. There are 2 penalties on the field.
We have 2 fouls on the offense. Chop block, number 63. Illegal use of hands, hands to the face, 63. Chop block is on number 25. Those penalties are declined. 4th down.
Okay. So that will be a punt for the Cowboys.
See Emmett Clary, the left tackle, going to get hands to the face. Then he's engaged. Now, I don't think that's a chop block because he's blocking a different guy than Lance Dunbar came and blocked. But the hands to the face was there.
So they ruled initially maybe an offside, but they talked it over. That's the deal. What a punt here. Sproul's going to let it go, and it bounced out inside the 1. My goodness, Chris Jones, a 66-yard punt. He drops it inside the 1. Longest punt of his career, John.
What a punt. And Kevin, after last week, I have a new favorite punter.
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah.
You knew it because of that hit he laid down.
Yeah. You know, I never have introduced myself to a punter on the field before the game, but I went up to this young man today. And he used to play safety in high school. That's what he was. And he sure looked like it last week.
This is what you're talking about. After this punt against the Lions, watch Chris Jones, number 6. Oh!
Love it. That sidelines went crazy. He stares him down a little bit.
He had a little strut there, John.
Oh, on the field, I said, head on the swivel now. You put out hits like that, they're coming after you.
Meanwhile, the Eagles start barely outside of their own goal line. They'll run it looking for a little room, and they'll get a couple at least to Terrell Watson. Little breathing room. Talked about his story a little bit earlier, but my goodness, I mean, Mom left him on the doorstep of his grandfather when he was a baby, and his grandparents actually raised him. And this is a guy that had a learning disability. And great story in the Philadelphia papers this week. Apologize for not remembering who wrote it, but you know, turns out he overcame that challenge. And then he led the nation in rushing at Azusa Pacific out in California. What a journey. Get a chance to shine today. 2nd down and 7. Give it to him again. Make a move. And a 3rd and 5.
You know, another great big back from Azusa Pacific. The Nigerian nightmare, Christian Okoye. But these type of stories are what I love about the NFL. He's getting his opportunity. He's going to get some carries today.
Did you ever play Tecmo Bowl, John?
I did.
Christian Okoye could not be stopped.
He was a beast. The one guy who did stop him was Steve Atwater, though, in his tracks.
It's true. Not many did. 3rd and 4 for the Eagles. Wentz, pressure, looks to dump it off, and Sproles is buried. What a play. Damian Wilson at linebacker came in, and Sproles had no chance.
And this is Rod Marinelli, coach football. You got pressure coming from both ends, and then go get your man. Don't wait for the lineman to come get you. You just can't coach it any better. You can't play it any better. That's excellent defense. And I got to tell you, Rod Marinelli, I'm very fond of this guy. Played a lot of football with him on our staff at Tampa. The job he's done with this defense, extraordinary coaching by Rod Marinelli and his staff.
Sure is. Donnie Jones the punt. Returnable. Whitehead looks to make a move. Breaks through a couple tackles. And he's into Eagles territory at the 49-yard line. Cowboys will have 2:01 to go, up 10-3. America's fastest growing sports show is on FS1.
Tomorrow, we debate Cowboys, Eagles, and look ahead to the playoffs.
And I'll tell you who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Leave the predictions to the expert. Undisputed, 9:30 Eastern, FS1.
You're gonna watch, John. You could be on that show tomorrow.
I am.
All right.
Got to go break it up between those guys.
They said, John, that it was not 2:01, but indeed 2 minutes to go, which means we've hit the 2-minute warning here in Philadelphia. Happy New Year. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Clearly, all doing the same thing here in Philadelphia. 2 minutes to go in this first half. Looking right through the phone to watch this game, along with John Lynch, Pam Oliver on the field. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Glad to have you along today for this Week 17 regular season finale, and then playoff next week, baby.
Nothing like it. Playoff football. Kevin, we're talking a lot about who's not playing, but I'll tell you, I look down there, I see Zach Martin, the best right guard in football. He's still in there. Travis Frederick, arguably the best center in football. So like Jason Garrett said, look, we only have 6 offensive linemen. We can't sit everybody. So some of these guys, you just hope they stay healthy, but they're out there, they're playing, and they're battling.
Basically looks like 4 guys are getting a breather. Elliott did not start. Sean Lee, haven't seen him. Jason Witten recently has come out of the game. And obviously Dak Prescott. That's outside of that, you got to play. They're a little bit banged up as they try to get healthy. #1 seed in the playoffs. Cowboys last had that in 07. They'd rather forget it. They lost to the Giants in the divisional round. But pretty historic today when you consider they can win 14 games in their illustrious history. Never done it.
That's incredible. I mean, as good as those teams were, but I won 13 games once in my 15-year career. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's like only the Patriots do that. You know, everybody else, 13's doing what 12's outstanding season.
The Cowboys at 13-3. No idea whether they put the clock back at 2:02. They told us it was a 2-minute warning. So who knows, John? I guess we'll find out after the play. Here's Sanchez to throw it on first down. And it's intercepted again by Philadelphia. Make it 2 in a row for Jordan Hicks, his 2nd of the game.
Certain players just have a knack for intercepting the football. Jordan Hicks is one of those guys. He's going to pick up the crosser from Escobar, coming across the middle, and then undercuts him. Once you're in good position, you can watch the quarterback. That's exactly what he does. Gets himself in position, undercuts him, And he's got good hands, because every time he has an opportunity, he seems to pull the football in. Jordan Hicks has the knack for the big play. Unfortunately for Mark Sanchez, that's been his bugaboo, the interception, which has killed him throughout his career.
Jordan Hicks leads the Eagles, now his 5th interception of the year. And so a chance for Philadelphia. Down 10-3. They've got all 3 timeouts left. Carson Wentz has struggled the last quarter or so. Now over the middle, and he is going to connect. It is Trey Burton, the 3rd tight end. He's been a versatile player for this Eagles team, and that'll move the chains. So Burton picks up 12.
Versatile. I mean, Jordan Matthews out today. He's at times this year really played a slot receiver, Trey Burton. He's played a second tight end. He's played the first tight end. He's been all over the field for him.
Here's Sproles. Tries to leak through on the right side. And he's inside the 35 with 1:26 and counting. There is Burton. Heck, Johnny, even long snapped in a game we did a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Brent Selleck went down. Their long snapper, John Dorenbos, had gone down. They were having tryouts on the sideline. Trey Burton came and delivered for him.
There's Wentz. Throws, another completion. Some quick throws for Wentz. That's Ertz, the tight end. It'll be a 3rd down and short, and timeout on the field. Eagles call their first with 1:07 to go. Why don't we find out what's coming up on the Visa Halftime Show with Kurt Menefee.
Coming up at the Visa halftime, the Patriots head down to Miami trying to wrap up home field advantage. The Browns try to knock off the Steelers, and the Bills ring in the new year without Rex Ryan. It's all coming up at the Visa halftime.
Nice tune. You think?
Oh my God. They've got the noisemakers in Philly too. Those that weren't out too late last night. Happy New Year to you watching at home across the country. Glad to have you aboard here from the city of brotherly love. 3rd and 3. Here's Wentz. Throws on time. It's Burton. Complete for an Eagles 1st down inside the 20.
I love what Doug Peterson did. Remember Carson Wentz the last couple of series starting to get a little erratic. He came back with the quick passes, get him in a rhythm again. Carson Wentz looking sharp, kind of coached into it by Doug Peterson.
1st down. Wentz comes in the flat to Sproles, who was hit immediately. It's Damian Wilson. Made a couple plays here today. Strong side linebacker in his 2nd year.
Damian Wilson is a linebacker that Rod Marinelli and this staff really likes. They're starting to put him more in the game plan. He's showing up.
Making plays. Wentz airing it out. Incomplete. Looking for Zach Ertz, but I don't think he had a chance of catching that. There's Byron Jones on the coverage. .24 seconds to go. 2 timeouts remaining in the half. Let's see.
There's Byron Jones in space. Now the rule is, do you hook? His hand is there. The hand can be there. Do you restrict? Do you hook and restrict? I don't think so. I don't know if it's catchable like you said anyhow, Kevin.
Yeah. So a 3rd and 10. Wentz, all kinds of time. Now he looks to run. Comes back the other way. Carson Wentz gets a block. And Carson Wentz has a 1st down. He got a block from Sproles to help him out.
This is something that we talked with Carson Wentz about. He's been running more, with more frequency and with more effectiveness of late. He's realized that that's a big thing that can help him out. Darren Sproles down the field blocking on Barry Church. But Carson Wentz understanding that when you run, it's going to open up things, pull defenders forward. He's implemented it in this as a part of his game, and I think it's been a big addition. Yeah,
that's a 13-yard run. John, the last 5 games, as you discussed, he's had 89 yards rushing. So he's starting to add that to his resume. This is an injury to Randy Gregory. He had a little bit of an oblique issue playing his 1st game last week. I mean, the Cowboys are so thin on defensive line with 4 inactive players. They only have 6 healthy bodies in the D line. They can move guys like Wilbur and stuff down there, but they're not deep today there.
And what they did last week, we saw a lot of 3-man fronts with Damian Wilson as kind of that 4th guy in the spy position. But as you mentioned, DeMarcus Lawrence, he's out with a back injury. Cedric Thornton out with an ankle. Terrell McClain, ankle. Tyrone Crawford out with a hamstring and shoulder. So they are thin at the defensive line.
I think they feel like all those guys should be all right for the playoffs with the bye coming up. So 14 seconds to go in the half. Eagles trying to tie it up. First down and goal. They line up Sproles as a receiver on the bottom of your screen. Wentz looking that way, throwing that way, incomplete.
It's really good coverage by Damian Wilson. You put Darren Sproles out there, and really this is one of those option routes. But watch Damian Wilson play his leverage. He gets to the outside. It's really good job because Darren Sproles makes a lot of linebackers panic in that situation. Damian Wilson was calm. And that's really nice coverage.
10 seconds to go. Second and goal. Do have 2 timeouts. Wentz fires. Touchdown! Zach Ertz.
That drive was the tight end show. Zach Ertz and Trey Burton did all the work. You see the traffic. Byron Jones runs into his own teammate in Damian Wilson. Good route design and a nice throw low and away where only Ertz can catch it.
Zach Ertz with the 6-yard touchdown reception. Here is the extra point by Sturgis. It's up and good. Third touchdown of the year for Ertz. And after a rusty second quarter, Wentz comes through with a nice drive. 6 of 8 on that drive. We're tied at 10. 7 seconds to go. 7 seconds to go in this first half. Nice drive from Carson Wentz. A lot of quick hitters, but effective. 6 of 8 on the drive. And then the touchdown to Zach Ertz to tie this game up here in Philly. Coming up at the half, you see that will be there in 7 seconds. Another game of note early, the Patriots game that means something. They're up over the Dolphins 27. They can clinch the #1 seed in the AFC with a win today. And then most of the meaningful stuff as far as playoffs comes a little later. AFC, all the teams are in. They're just worried about seeding. NFC, there's a lot of drama left. But the Packers and Lions tonight for the division. And then if the Redskins win, it's crazy if the loser of that game could be out.
How about those Packers? You know, that's a team that a lot of teams are not going to be looking forward to seeing in the playoffs if they pull this off here at the end. They are so hot as a football team. Their quarterback hotter than anybody.
Sanchez takes a knee. That'll do it from the first half. Here from Philly, we've got a 10-10 game. Couple of old rivals hooking up. 10-10 your score at the break. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy coming up with the Visa Halftime Show after this from Philadelphia. See you on the other side. First half moments brought to you by Febreze. It has been a tough couple years for Tony Romo. Guess what? His 2016 debut, now 17, is right now. Little pump and go. Firing! Touchdown! Romo comes in and Romo scores.
Romo pumps, then he turns it up the field. That was beautiful.
It's got to feel good for Tony, though. Boy, he's been through a lot. Wentz fires. Touchdown!
A nice throw low and away where only Ertz can catch it.
First half moments brought to you by Febreze. We get set for the third quarter. We welcome you back to the booth in Philadelphia, and a happy new year to you. 10-10 Eagles and the Cowboys in this regular season finale. 9-time Pro Bowl safety John Lynch, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. How about Philly? You know, Carson Wentz started off hot and went through a pretty rough period in the game, but then I like what you said about Doug Peterson kind of getting him back on track.
That kind of a microcosm of his whole season. He came out of the gates hot as could be, then went through a little lull, and then late in the half came back. It's been much like his season. Peterson, I think, did a great job getting him back into rhythm. I think that's one thing he's learned this year.
How to do it for Wentz with the touchdown to Zach Ertz. And the Eagles will get the ball to start this half. As here is Marshall on the return, hurdling people and somersaulting across the 20. Let's go down to the field with Pam Oliver.
Hey, Kevin, to add to what John was saying, yeah, Doug Peterson said that Carson did get a little shaky, but we put him in too many third and longs, but he eventually settled down. That was positive the way they ended the half. He also said we can help him a little bit by getting that run game going. I talked about the final half of the Eagles' regular season. He says he wants to see effort. He wants to see guys playing fast and, of course, get a win to start the new year off right. Jason Garrett, we talked about Tony Romo. He said that was great to see. He was so happy for the quarterback. Kevin?
Thank you, Pam. I'd imagine so after all the injuries that Romo has dealt with. Come back one series and a touchdown. Not too bad. And first play, we get a penalty. We'll see what the call is here.
Neutral zone infraction, number 58, defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So the offensive leaders in that first half. Wentz, 12 of 21, 87 yards and the touchdown at the end. Sproles, 32 yards rushing. And Zach Ertz had a nice half. 5 catches, 48 yards and a touchdown. Started off with Byron Marshall in the backfield. On first down, and Marshall gets swarmed by Jack Crawford. He had nowhere to go.
If you're Jack Crawford and you're going to jump off sides on first down, you might as well make up for it. And penetration hurts run games like nothing else. You see the stunt. He beats Seumalo. Jack Crawford making up for that penalty, getting right back to second and 11.
Number 58, John Crawford. He's got an interesting story. He grew up in London. He actually went to school with Daniel Radcliffe, the star of the Harry Potter movies. He moves to New Jersey to play basketball, and then he ends up a football player, and here he is for Dallas. And Wentz gets buried. I think Crawford was in the middle of that. Anthony Hitchens was there as well.
Well-timed blitz by Hitchens. He's going to come right through the B gap, and he brings it on Carson Wentz. And what Wentz is going to have to do, we talked about him running more early. Right there, take off. Don't hold it to the point. Once you see it's not there, take off. Use that athleticism.
We get a timeout on the field. Did not see who called it, John. I think it's an official timeout. There's an injury. There it is. It's Jason Peters, who's walking off slowly, the left tackle for Philadelphia, who's going to the Pro Bowl again at age 34. And so he will take a break, and we'll see Halapoulivaati Vaitai will get the start, or get the chance to come on in. He actually started some for Lane Johnson when he was out earlier this year. Let's see.
There's Peters. I think Hitchens and Wentz are going to kind of roll up on the back of his legs. Hopefully he's all right. He's been healthy all through the season in his 13th year. An accomplishment in and of itself. He's also played extremely well.
So Vaitai, and we get movements, I think, on the other side of the line. This has started off to be a rousing half.
Ball start, number 47, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Interesting, Kevin, that they decide to move Vaitai in at left tackle, because a lot of conjecture is that eventually Lane Johnson, the stud right tackle, will become someday that left tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles. And Lane Johnson, what a mountain of a man and what a player. I mean, when he's been in, it's been really good. When he was gone, it wasn't so good for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, they missed him. Missed 10 games with the suspension for PEDs. Here's a give up the middle to Marshall. He's worked his way out across the 20 to the 23. They say he was down on the play. Hitchens on the stop, and that'll bring up fourth down. He looks a little gimpy coming off the field. It's got to be the biggest worry right now if you're Jason Garrett, just crossing your fingers and hope you get out of here healthy for the final minutes of this one. Donnie Jones to punt it away. Lucky Whitehead waits back to receive it. Takes an eagle bounce inside the 30. Well, the Cowboys 13-3 this year. They've done that a few times in history, but they've never won 14. You go back 13-3 in '92. They won the Super Bowl. In '07, they were 13-3. They lost in the divisional round of the Giants, who went on to win it. And then this year, 13-2. Could they win 14 for the first time ever? They've got the #1 seed. They've got a bye. It's all in their hands going forward. And what a job for Jason Garrett. Does anybody remember that they won 4 games last year?
Yeah, in preseason, in your 3rd game, you lose your starting quarterback and bring a 4th rounder in, and perhaps they're going to win 14 games. What a job by Jason Garrett and his staff.
Here's McFadden, who stretches to the outside. And Garrett certainly will get consideration for Coach of the Year. 7th season as head coach. He also took over as an interim coach the half season before that. And John, it's hard to coach in Dallas, and I think you got to give Jerry Jones some credit because he stuck with him through some rough times too and never wavered on Garrett.
I agree with you, and the one thing Jason Garrett brings is consistency. He never wavered in his messaging. Even last year when they went through that tough season, he believed in the things he believed in, and it's come full circle this year, and he's done a great job leading this team.
Jerry Jones on the right, Stephen Jones on the left, running the Cowboys. Game break. Let's get an update from Carissa.
Thanks, Kevin. Bucks needing a win and a lot of help, including a Cowboys win to keep their playoff hopes alive. This help. Grimes picks off Cam Newton for this 31-yard score. Tampa Bay up 10-7. Kevin, John, and Payne.
Carissa, to that point, John, you want to hear what the Bucks need besides a win? They need Green Bay loss, Washington tie, wins by Dallas, Indy, Tennessee, San Francisco, and I think Alabama in college football too.
And my son Jake Lynch, the biggest Buck fan ever, says, Dad, it's happened.
3rd down. Sanchez back to throw. Lets it go. Has a man open. It's Beasley. He's got it. What a throw and what a grab over the shoulder for Cole Beasley on 3rd down for Dallas.
You know, Kevin, how they tell young quarterbacks don't throw into double coverage. Mark Sanchez right there says, watch me. He splits the double coverage. That's a well-placed football. You got Jalen Mills on the inside. On the outside. Malcolm Jenkins on the inside, and you just can't place it any better than Sanchez just did.
Pretty from Sanchez, now going deep the other side of the field, and we may get a penalty. Carroll, who got flagged for pass interference earlier, had the coverage on this one. It was Terrence Williams. He might get another.
Well, Kevin, we talked about it. That's something that is going to have to improve. When the ball is thrown downfield, your corners better be able to make plays and certainly not have penalties. Way too many big plays they've given up in Philly.
Pass interference, number 22, defense. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul, 1st down.
That's the 7th pass interference penalty on Nolan Carroll this year. Way too high.
And when I watch these guys, I see a lot of poor technique, turning their back to the quarterback. There he's got his eyes, but trust your speed. He's got great speed. He has great size. But instead, he wants to contact Terrence Williams. Just run, look, and lean and find the football.
And a 17-yard penalty. Sanchez going to get it out to Lucky Whitehead, right side, and he breaks through the initial tackle from McLeod and surges forward. And he gets it down to the 5. Cool audio from Jeff Cohen and Dan Cochran. You guys have been doing it for us for 4 years running on this crew.
They do a wonderful job. There's Dak Prescott. We just saw Lucky Whitehead. I think he's emblematic of the way that Scott Linehan has had an incredible season as an assistant. He's found a way for Lucky Whitehead, a returner, to have an imprint on this offense with reverses, with jet sweeps, and then a lot of ghost action, a lot of fake of those things, and runs off of it.
McFadden tries to bowl forward up the middle. And I believe he's going to be a little shy. So a 3rd down, we'll call it a yard. Why do you think Linehan doesn't get the credit that others do? Is it because he's been a head coach and didn't have a good run for the Rams? Why do you think it is?
I think some of that sticks with you. I think a lot of people look at this offense and go, okay, I could run this offense with Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, Des Bryant, Ezekiel Elliott. But I would say, and I would submit, you got a 4th-round quarterback. He's had an incredible year. But there's so many different things in different ways. He's utilized them all. He's not just running plays, he's setting up plays. I think he's been phenomenal.
3rd and 2. Play clock at 2. Sanchez, we get a timeout. I think Jason Garrett saw that one going sour, so Dallas calls a timeout. It'll be a 3rd and 2 as the Cowboys marching on in. Big play of this drive. How about a little hookup to Cole Beasley? 10-10 game. Cowboys looking for more.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty. This is the next level. And by T-Mobile. Switch to the network built for unlimited data.
And Kevin, you know, to be coach of the year, you got to be a lot of things. One of them, you got to be quick. You got to be alert. Jason Garrett, alert, sees the play clock, quickly gets down to the 10-yard line. It's the timeout.
And that saves a 3rd down and 2. Sanchez, back pressure, spins away, still looking, firing, Dunbar incomplete. That would have been some play. They couldn't make it though. Brandon Graham applied some pressure.
Brandon Graham, as he's been all year, consistently putting pressure on the quarterback. How Sanchez stayed up, I don't know. Brandon Graham tries to swipe at the football. Sanchez really throws a nice ball to Dunbar, but Dunbar can't come up with it.
So it'll be a field goal try. Here's Dan Bailey trying to put the Cowboys in front. Another good year for Dan Bailey. He's been one of the best since he came into the league. This is a 23-yard attempt, and it is up, and it is good. So the Cowboys jump back in front. Bailey's leg puts them there with 9:18 to go in the 3rd from Philadelphia. Cowboys up 3 on the Eagles. 9:18 to go in the 3rd quarter. The 116th meeting of this rivalry started out in 1960. This one doesn't mean as much as a lot have in the past today. Cowboys have already clinched the #1 seed and a bye in the playoffs. Eagles just trying to finish strong. You know, the first-year head coach Doug Peterson, rookie quarterback Carson Wentz. They're 6-9, but coming off a big win over the Giants, where they played extremely well. They'd love to go in the offseason feeling good about themselves, knocking off not only their 2 biggest rivals, but 2 teams going to the playoffs. So Bailey will kick it away. And Marshall decides to take it on out. Why not? Well, that's why. Because he gets smoked up across the 10. That didn't work out so good. So Carson Wentz in his rookie year. He's had some good, he's had some bad, and you want to look at promise. This is a guy at Century High School at Bismarck, North Dakota. He was the valedictorian there. Smart guy. North Dakota State, a 20-3 record, who led them to national titles. First 3 games in Philadelphia, 3-0, and then a harder time. So 3-9, certainly not all his fault. There are all kinds of problems across the board for the Eagles. There's North Dakota State representing. Look at this graphic. 612 total pass attempts in 4 years in school. He's almost there in his rookie season in the NFL.
Wow. That's called experience on the job. And he got a lot of it in his first year with Philly.
He's going to need an arm massage, and he almost throws an interception. That's Anthony Brown, who dives across to knock it away.
And they found another corner in Dallas this year. Morris Claiborne was playing well, went out. Anthony Brown came in, a rookie from Purdue, and has been a fine addition to this defense. Should have had an interception right there, but a really good player for the future. What a draft the Cowboys had, Kevin.
Not bad, huh? Just to take the quarterback and the running back alone. Here's 2nd and 10. Wentz to throw, looks over the middle, a little behind, but the catch is made by Dorial Green Beckham, and it's a 1st down for the Eagles.
Dorial Green Beckham, he's a huge target. This is one route. You know, there's a route tree. He's got one route down. It's the slant route. He's such a big presence. It's something he runs very well. He's got to expand that route tree, and I think he will if you put speed around him. Right now, there's no threat around him. He's a nice complementary player, but if he's your one, as he is today, you got to do better, and they got to go add at the wide receiver position.
15-yard gain. It'll be a 1st down again. Why not? That one is dropped. Looking over the middle, and we see the good, we see the bad. Let's see the good with a game break with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. We head to Miami. Patriots up 20-14 when Tom Brady finds Julian Edelman a 77-yard touchdown. Quite a block right there by Michael Floyd. Pats up 27-14. Kevin.
So you may have to go through New England again to get to the Super Bowl. A familiar theme.
You kind of had that feeling that Michael Floyd would go there and find himself. He's had a rough year, but people have a tendency to do that in New England. They take chances. They have a strong locker room. They got a great quarterback throwing, and Michael Floyd making an impact.
Play fake. Wentz going to throw it into the flat, and then slipping down is Terrell Watson, who then gets up and runs, but I believe he was touched down at the 31. You know, it's interesting with Wentz, John. We were talking with him the other day, and he said, you know, the offseason is just going to be so important. He said, I mean, gee, I was taking third-team reps, it seemed like a couple minutes ago, and it has been quite the ride for them. And now the question will be, what will that offseason work mean for him? What will he have to work on, in your estimation, to take it to the next level?
Well, you know, I think he said it best. I think he's got a great head on his shoulders. He's going to watch all the film after he takes a little break. He's going to identify not 25 things, but 2 or 3 things that I can really improve upon, and I like that mindset.
Third down. Wentz standing back there. Now backpedaling away from pressure. Now maybe to run it. Looking to throw a little shuttle pass out of bounds, but he saved the big loss. It is a third down, and they will have to punt. So in talking about Wentz, what if you had to pick 1 or 2 things, what would it be?
Well, I think there's some mechanical things. You look at, I was a quarterback in college growing up, and I study him every week. One thing I know, when you watch him, he's been taught to hold the arms up like that. I think that confines him. It restricts everything. It makes you tight. Talked to a couple of his coaches. I think the ability just to drop those shoulders. We talked to Aaron Rodgers. He in college was a guy holding the ball like this. Said he got to the NFL, brought the elbows down, and it really freed him up. I think that's something Carson Wentz is really going to focus on this offseason mechanically.
We just got a penalty. Well, roughing the passer penalty. I don't know when that flag was thrown. It was well after the play. Let's see if that was the case. So here's Wentz throwing it out of bounds. Oh my goodness.
One thing he doesn't have to work on are his acting skills this offseason. Wow.
Maybe it was that. Maybe it was on Gregory. It could. That's got to be it. Okay, that makes more sense.
Wow.
I was going to say there's no way it could be on Damian Wilson. All right, so that's what they called. It took a long time for that flag to come out. We were back on camera. So that's the bottom line. Instead of a 4th down in a punting situation, they'll take over with a 1st down at their own 46. Interesting stuff, John, on the quarterback mechanics. I like it. Blitz picked up, quick throw, and a completion. Ertz, who's into Dallas territory at the 48, his 6th catch of the day.
And you're seeing the tight ends being relied on. Zach Ertz and Trey Burton both being very active along with Sproles. That's because their top 2 receivers are out. Jordan Matthews out.
Second down, 4-man rush. Wentz gets rid of it. Ertz again, why not? He's been open over the middle, and he's got the 1st down to the 39. John, I think the one thing there's a couple things here to tie up this discussion on Wentz. The one thing is Eagles had to mortgage a lot to go up and get him, but they've been so smart that they have 8 draft picks next year, including 1 in the 1st round. Not a lot of teams can do that.
And you just got to make them count.
Yes.
You just look at the other sidelines. That's what the Cowboys did this year. They had an outstanding draft, and it changed the fortunes of their team.
And Wentz in the rhythm now. This is Burton who's got the catch for a pickup of 9. He's down to the 30. And the other thing, of course, is going to be finding some additional wide receivers. A little quicker pace to Wentz in this offense. Here on this drive. 2nd and 1. Late blitz coming. They'll throw it in the flat and have a 1st down. That's Marshall on the catch. Well, we talked about the wide receivers this year. There's no secret. The Eagles need some help in this department. Jordan Matthews is a good player. You probably want him in the slot rather than being your number 1. And this is why, because they just haven't gotten it done.
And Aguilar and Jordan Matthews out today. But even with them in, they need to be better. They just don't have enough dynamic playmaking outside.
This is Burton, who somehow held on. Byron Jones almost came and picked that off with the completion to Burton.
We talked about him earlier. I think they found a guy in Trey Burton, a former quarterback at University of Florida, that they can really do some things with moving forward. You can't have enough good tight ends. They found a very versatile cog for their offense moving forward.
Second down. Wentz standing in, firing deep end zone. Wentz! He's got it! Touchdown! That was pretty. Mike Trout gets the ball.
Zach Ertz brought it over to Mike Trout. Carson Wentz was fired up. He said Zach Ertz introduced him to Mike Trout. They went hunting a couple times during the long break after their Thursday night victory over the Giants. And Carson Wentz, much like that play, said, let's just put it this way, we didn't come home empty-handed.
Yeah, there you go. Trout grew up in South Jersey, a huge Eagles fan. He's got season tickets. Sitting right in that end zone. So a 2-touchdown game for Zach Ertz. That was a pretty throw and a hookup of 20 yards. They're reviewing this like they do every score. I guess we could take a look too. Let's make sure he caught this all the way.
Really nice job by Wentz. He sees the safety blitz by Byron Jones. Likes the matchup on Andrew Gachkar and throws an absolutely beautiful pass, and there's no doubt about it. That's a touchdown catch for Zach Ertz.
We really do see the flashes, don't you? I mean, Wentz, he's certainly got it, and now we'll see how he improves going forward. Extra point is up, and it's good, and Philadelphia has taken the lead here over the Cowboys with 4:56 to go. It was Wentz to Ertz for the 20-yard score, and the Eagles in front. Go get it, Mike Trout.
This game is sponsored by Burger King. Try the $3.99 Whopper Jr. deal only at BK.
Carson Wentz, real good on the drive. 8 of 10 for 74 yards. He hit his last 7 in a row. Of course, they got help with the roughing penalty, which kept that drive going. But the Eagles take the lead. Zach Ertz having a day, too. But here's how we piece the mystery together of how Mike Trout got the football. Ertz with the catch. Wentz comes over, says, give it to me. And Johnny's making a beeline for the 2-time MVP right here. Oh, wait, Mike Trout, he just fits right in with the hoodie. You don't even know.
Gotta love it. Gotta love
Mike
it.
Trout. So 17-13 Eagles over the Cowboys here in this third quarter. Mark Sanchez in at quarterback, third quarterback of the day for Dallas, and he hits Bryce Butler for a short game. If you just turned us on, Dak Prescott played a little bit today, and then Romo had one drive and threw a touchdown, his first action of the year. And then since it's been Sanchez, again, Dallas has already clinched the #1 seed, so they're just trying to get in rhythm, stay healthy, and get ready. Jordan Hicks has intercepted Sanchez twice here today. The Philly linebacker. 2nd and 7. They'll pitch it. Alfred Morris. And Morris surging forward for 2. Fletcher Cox helped on that play. There's Ezekiel Elliott, John, who's been idle today.
Ezekiel Elliott has been quiet. And this is how you make running back stay quiet.
You put him on the bench. He's leading the league in rushing. And I think he thought he was going to play today. They told him right for the game he's going to sit, and he will win the rushing title because he had a huge lead coming into today. They're resting him for the playoffs. Third down, coming near side. Beasley gets a block. Good cut by Cole Beasley. And he's got a first down. He's out to the 41 for the Cowboys. It's a pickup of 12.
This is a guy who's really come into his own in his 5th year. Really found his place in this offense. It was so much Dez Bryant before, so much Jason Witten. Was there room for another receiver? And Cole Beasley has shown very much So he's an excellent slot receiver, extremely productive. And again, it leads you, this is what the challenge is against this. They're going to run the ball with Ezekiel. You're going to run things off that. You see Alfred Morris carry it. But then you get to third down, and it's like, who do you cover? Because you want to cover Beasley? Well, Witten's going to hurt you. You want to cover both those guys? You got Des Bryant outside. So many weapons on this offense, and they got the best offensive line in football. They got a young quarterback who you found in the 4th round who's playing out of his mind. It is just, it's going to be a bear for anyone to stop these guys.
I think the one note for Beasley is coming into today, he had 19 catches on 3rd down. That was 6th best in the league. He's had a couple more today, including that last one. You hit it, just a threat, especially on the key downs. Sanchez slings it out to Morris. And Alfred Morris fighting forward, out across the 46 to the 47. He's going to pick up 4 yards.
And really, an embarrassment of riches when Alfred Morris is your 3rd running back.
Yeah.
You got McFadden and Ezekiel Elliott before him. That young man, Troy Aikman said it a couple weeks ago, about his impressive young man, and it takes me back when you are in a production meeting with him. It's like Russell Wilson. There's rare people you meet in this league, and at a young age, just having great perspective on leadership, on leading a team. Incredible young man.
Prescott 4 of 8 today, 37 yards before he was taken out. Here's Sanchez on 3rd. Pressure in trouble, and he is sacked. Vinny Curry was there, and boy, have the Eagles been waiting for production from him.
And Fletcher Cox really sets this up. You're going to see the push. Fletcher Cox playing a little end, but then Vinny Curry continues to rush after Fletcher Cox makes him step up. And Vinny Curry finishes him. And Kevin, you're right. They gave him the big deal. They've been waiting for the production. They're counting on it next year. And Vinny Curry showing some encouraging signs today.
Here is Sproles back to receive. Chris Jones who had a 66-yarder early in the game, a career high. Sproles calling a fair catch, going to let it bounce. Now they grab it, and that'll be that. He had the spot where he touched it. And so the Eagles D does their job. Carson Wentz on the field with his Eagles in front.
Sponsored by Samsung Pay. Turn your phone into your wallet.
Here in Philadelphia, final game of the regular season. Eagles and Cowboys. And it's Eagles 17, the Cowboys 13. 52 seconds to go in this 3rd quarter. On New Year's Day, along with John Lynch and Pam Oliver, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Eagles trying to finish this season strong after a win over the Giants last week. Byron Marshall in the backfield will fake it, and Wentz going to throw. Pressure up the middle, hit as he throws, tipped in the air, and it's caught by Selleck. Flags flying everywhere. Selleck coming up to a 1st down. Boy, that ball was in the air seemingly forever. But let's see, a lot to sort out here.
Boy, and this is just how Doug Peterson drew it up. Okay, Dorial Green Beckham, you're going to tip it up to Selleck, and then Selleck, you go catch it and head upfield. Selleck very aware to go catch that tip ball. It's going to be DPI, defensive pass interference.
Selleck has played in this town for a long time, his 10th year. He and John Dornbos, who's on IR right now, their long snapper, the longest tenured athletes in Philadelphia. And this is taking a long time to sort out here.
There's no foul for defensive pass interference. The ball is tipped. 2nd down.
There's Rod Marinelli. John, he is in the Northeast, and he's got the Goobaline on. I'm very proud of him, although there's no pom-pom.
The Goobaline.
Is there I don't think there's a pom-pom on that one. We'll have to instruct him on the proper Goobaline wearing. I don't think Rod's going to be wearing pom-poms, though.
Old school.
Served this country in Vietnam. He is old school as they get. 2nd down and 1. Here's Marshall. Marshall absorbs a hard hit, but he's got a 1st down. Mark Nazacha getting some time at linebacker with the stick.
And it doesn't matter who Rod Marinelli puts in there. There's a standard of defense that they expect, and one of the things they do, they hit. They teach tackling, they teach physicality, and Rod Marinelli's defense have always played with that style.
Now they're having a great year, as are these Cowboys, but they're trailing here today. A couple old rivals going at it. 17-13 Birds after 3. There's Rod Marinelli. He's done just an unbelievable job with this Cowboys defense. As we start the fourth quarter, 17-13 Eagles. Cowboys come in 4th in the league in their scoring defense. They've done a great job, number 1 against the run. And they've been really excelling in the fourth quarter late in games, John.
Yeah, they have been, and they wear people out because of the way they practice. You know, Rod Marinelli, you're expected on this defense in practice. They coach effort. A lot of people think you get to this level, you don't have to coach effort. He believes very much that you coach effort, and I've been in those teams. You sprint to the ball every day, but what it does, it makes you an incredibly conditioned team, and you wear people out late in games.
So the numbers, what they've done in the fourth quarter last few games. Santa's still hanging around here in Philadelphia. Yeah, Marinelli said, you sprint everywhere. Heck, you going to dinner? You sprint to dinner. It's worked on a first down. Wentz gets hit, but he gets it off to Ertz. Gets a block. Zach Ertz, big day for him. 2 touchdowns already. He's got his 9th catch of the day, and he's now over 100 yards. Actually, he'll put him at 96 with a 13-yard gain.
Your top 2 receivers are out. What do? You utilize your tight ends, and Carson Wentz has been doing it all day long with Ertz, with Burton, and Ertz now with 9 catches on the day.
Carson Wentz, 22 of 33, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns, his second 2-touchdown game of the year. He has not had a 3-score game. Back to throw, gonna let it fly, far side, and he underthrew it. He got hit too as he let it go. He did have a man, it was Dorial Green-Beckham, but he couldn't connect. Wentz with some pressure that time. That ended at 9 straight completions from the rookie. Overall numbers on the day. Just turned 24 years old on Friday. Happy birthday, Carson Wentz. Second down. A little draw here coming to Marshall. Good speed and a first down for Philadelphia. And a penalty flag comes in. A little pushing and shoving. I mean, it is Eagles Cowboys, John.
Randy Gregory had a hold of his leg and he wasn't letting it go, and Byron Marshall didn't like that.
Holding, number 10, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
They called it on Chase Daniel. I don't think it's on him because he's the backup quarterback. It could have been any of these guys. Treggs, Turner. Let's see.
I believe it's Dorial Green-Beckham. He's got a fistful of J.J. Wilcox's jersey.
So it'll be a second down and 10. Fakes the throw on the flat, comes back screen. Ertz gets a block. Zach Ertz inside the 35 in a stiff arm. Oh boy. He took out a couple people with him, including one of our audio folks downstairs. Zach Ertz is having himself a monster game. He's over 100 yards.
And beautiful design to that play. You see the pump to the right, throw back to Ertz to the left, and big Jason Peters out in front.
So what's it like to be on an NFL sideline? Well, it kind of looks like this.
You can't let people at your legs. You got to lose that parab. Is that what we call it? A parab, and guard those legs.
Wentz has time, floats it deep. He's got a man, incomplete. He had Treggs open, but it falls incomplete.
That was excellent range by J.J. Wilcox, playing Mike Trout center field in the middle of the field. And that's what your job is, to make those receivers feel you. McFadden does a nice job making them release inside, and Treggs feels J.J. Wilcox. I promise you, you feel that presence. Great play by J.J. Wilcox.
And so a 2nd and 10. As they give Marshall an extended look in the backfield now. But they'll throw it. Another quick hitter coming near side. Why not go to Zach Ertz? It's been a one-man wrecking crew. His 11th catch of the day. He's got a game break with Kurt Menefee.
All right, Kevin, you remember that Viking team that started 5-0? Well, they're looking a lot like it right now against Chicago. Defense forces the sack, fumble, and it is scooped up by Everson Griffin. He takes it 20 yards for the touchdown. The defense scores here. Sam Bradford throws 3 touchdowns. And you go, where's that been all year? They're going into the offseason, hopefully on a winning note for them, 38-10 right now.
Certainly hasn't been the season the Vikings wanted, John Boy. Remember, they're 5-0. It just fell apart. Too many injuries for them. But then it got weird. North Turner leaving. It got weirder than that. 3rd down. Wentz fires. That time can't hook up with Ertz. Jeff Heath on the coverage. It'll be a 4th down and 7.
I mean, this is really a 3-man show right now for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's Sproles, it's Zach Ertz, and it's Trey Burton. Other than that, no one's getting the ball.
Well, Wentz has 203 yards passing. 116 of them are to Zach Ertz. And so they will try a long field goal here with Caleb Sturgis on to give it a shot from 49 yards out. He's got a 22-yard field goal in this one. And Sturgis puts it up, and it is no good. Stayed left, never came back. And it stays a 4-point Eagles lead. And so they'll keep it there. Missed field goal by Philadelphia. Dallas gets the ball back, but they trail it by 4.
Today's game is sponsored by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL.
Wednesday night, a huge college hoops showdown on FS1. 2 of the best in the Big East. Josh Hart leading top-ranked Villanova against number 13 Butler. Action tips off Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern on FS1. Villanova unbeaten. They outlasted Creighton. It was a great game yesterday. Boy, are they good. Under Jay Wright, national champs, of course. Big East looking to be good again this year. And here are the Cowboys with Alfred Morris. Who gets buried? Who else? Brandon Graham again with the play.
Well, folks, it's been all year long. It hasn't been just today that Brandon Graham's been having this type of impact. See him working. It's called a 6 technique. He runs a little stick stunt inside of Doug Free. Not only gets in there, but makes the play on Alfred Morris, continuing an outstanding year for Brandon Graham.
11:45 to play. Eagles by 4. Mark Sanchez, 3rd quarterback of the day for Dallas. He'll throw it over the middle, and he's got a completion. Out to the 42-yard line. That's Escobar, the backup tight end. He's going to pick up 7. And 3rd down coming up. As Bryant's day is now done. It's got a strange feel, doesn't it, John? It's got like part preseason game, part, you know, it's kind of the way this is today because it is set up with Dallas already a #1 seed and the Eagles is trying to finish off strong. And Ezekiel Elliott has paced that sideline a lot. He did not play at all today, the league's leading rusher. 3rd and 7. Sanchez going to dump it off. Dunbar plants his leg in the ground, but he's going to be shy of a 1st down. And the Cowboys will punt. Well, Elliott may not have played today, but what a year for this Cowboys rookie, taken 4th overall. Look at these rushing yards, 1631. He will win the rushing title. 15 rushing touchdowns this year. You want to talk about 100-yard games? If you look at it, he's got more than 13 teams, John. 7 100-yard games. It's more than 13 teams, including the Seahawks. And then you talk about the breakaway speed. that he has. 20+ yard runs, which is incredible for me. He's got, what, 14 of them? That's number 1 in the league by far. I don't have to say anything else. The Sproles makes the fair catch going out of bounds right around the 10. And so Elliott will wait patiently to his next game in 2 weeks. What a year for him. Eagles, though, in front here. 17-13. Eagles in front of the Cowboys. 10:09 to play here from Philadelphia. Can't ask for a nicer day. Temperatures in the high 40s on this New Year's Day. Didn't expect that coming in. Thought you'd have the heavy artillery. The winter coat, thermals on today. Not the case. And the Eagles trying to close out their regular season with 2 straight wins over division rivals. So they go into the offseason feeling good. Here is Wentz. And he hooks up again with Zach Ertz. We have a theme developing, John. Get the ball and throw it to Zach Ertz, his 12th catch of the day. So Ertz having himself a monster game for these Eagles, and Wentz just keeps going there.
And Doug Peterson told us, look, one thing I've learned throughout the course of working with Carson Wentz, he really likes the play action pass. And with certain quarterbacks, it gets them active. It gets their feet active. It puts them in proper throwing position. And it's something that translates with Carson Wentz. Look for a lot more of that next year.
He's got 12 catches for 131 yards to Zach Ertz. Wentz in trouble now. Here comes Gregory, and he is taken down for the sack. Randy Gregory.
Are there things in his game that he needs to improve on? Sure there are. Watch Jason Peters right here. He's going to cut Gregory. Well, you do that on a 3-step drop. That ball needs to be gone. Not Jason Peters' fault. He did his job. He cut Randy Gregory. That ball needs to be either thrown for a completion or thrown out of bounds.
Instead, a 2nd down and 18. 4-man rush. Wentz, a lot of time, and there's Zach Ertz again. Makes another catch, his 13th of the game. Well, when you talk about the Eagles, right, they're in a division in the NFC East, which has been great. Cowboys are in the playoffs, Giants, Redskins could be in the playoffs too. So how close are they? We've talked a lot about Wentz. We know they got their quarterback. What else, John?
They need to build around him. I think just look to the other sideline and what Dak Prescott had. He's got the best offensive line in football. I think the Eagles' offensive line's a lot closer. With Lane Johnson in there, they're a good offensive line. Now you look around him. The tight ends are looking good today. You need some receivers and you need a running back. Look at this year when Ryan Matthews played well, it was a different team. They need to go find that stud running back, and you need some playmakers on the outside in addition to Jordan Matthews, who's a nice piece.
Wentz fires complete to Turner, who's got the catch. And an Eagles first down. There's Howie Roseman, the general manager who's responsible for putting this team together. 19-yard gain. And that draft going to be so important for these Eagles next year. They're not going to have the most cap space. They could certainly be creative. Wentz again, a little behind and incomplete, looking for Treggs. More on the wide receivers. Let's check in with Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Kevin, chemistry with his wide receivers, that never really came together for the rookie quarterback and that group, which is also very young. Doug Peterson expects significant time between those between the quarterback and the wide receivers this offseason. He wants them together. He wants them throwing. He wants them to get to know each other on and off the field. Critical for chemistry with that important group.
There's a lot to do for these Eagles to jump back in the fray. And we get a flag. We'll see what the call is. So with you talking about
neutral zone infraction, number 95, defense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Wide receiver and cornerback, is that safe to say in your eyes that's the top 2 for this team needs?
Yeah, you know, and when you look at the structure of this league right now, it's a throwing league. I mean, yes, teams like the Cowboys show that when you run the ball, it's easier. But you need to be strong on the outside, on the perimeter, and right now they're lacking right there. You see the production at the tight end. Part of that's just because they don't have a lot that's going to scare opposing teams outside.
On 2nd down, pitching it outside. This is a good run by Terrell Watson. And a first down for Philadelphia.
Doug Peterson told us he reminds him of Nile Davis from the Kansas City Chiefs. This is very reminiscent to me. He's a guy who has some speed, but he's 240 pounds, a downhill runner, running with nice physicality.
It's an audition today, John. I mean, you talk about Ryan Matthews. He's got 1 year left on his Eagles deal, and he's a good player, but he's just been hurt so many times in his career, you just don't know. So they've got to have another option. 1st and 10. There's Marshall. A short gain on first down.
Yeah, everyone looks at Darren Sproles and says 14th year as a running back. Next year going to be 15. He's got to be done. But all I say is go look at the tape. I mean, I did, and I continue to marvel at how effective he is. I think they've kind of put him on ice for the season. They want to see some of Byron Marshall. But he definitely, there's his coach, Deuce Staley. He's got more juice in the tank. He came out this week, says he wants to play 1 more year. And I say, why not, the way he's going? He takes great care of himself, known for his work ethic in the offseason. I expect him to be back and productive next year for the Eagles.
On second down, stretch coming near side. Marshall, good cut from the speedy Marshall, who should have an Eagles first down. Talk about Sproles. Doug Peterson said that Marshall kind of has some of those abilities. He's actually put up some pretty gaudy numbers in college.
He's a shorter back, 5'9", not quite as small as Darren Sproles, but showing that quickness, the shiftiness, and also having a little dose of a little more power than you would expect from a smaller back.
He's the first player in Pac-12 history. He had a 1,000-yard rush season, and then the next year followed up with a 1,000-yard receiving season. So versatile indeed. This is inside the 30 to Marshall one more time. As time a factor, 5:16 to play with the Eagles up by 4.
Look at the eyes of Byron Marshall scanning the field, looking right, looking left. I remember I used to get those eyes from Barry Sanders, that same look. And I used to go, Mom, please help me out.
I don't think you were the only one. Michael Tatamir and Keith DeSantis, 2 of our many talented camera crew there on those downfield low shots. Give you that look. We look at Carson Wentz, 2nd and 7. We'll run it again. Marshall, good cut. And look at the Jets up the middle for a first down. That was impressive from Byron Marshall, the rookie.
He got some run against Baltimore a couple weeks ago. You knew he'd have an opportunity today. Look at him set this run up. Burst to the outside, then cut it back inside. Byron Marshall making the most of his opportunity here today.
So Marshall getting a chance. 10 carries, 42 yards now. A nice day from him as the Eagles trying to extend their lead. Under 4 minutes to play. 11th play of the drive. Wentz. And that's going to be a give for a short gain. Watson on the carry.
And Richard Ash, who was just signed off the practice squad from the Jacksonville Jaguars. They knew they were going to have a bunch of defensive linemen out, 3 of their 4 starters. You need bodies. And so they track people throughout the year, and they see a guy on a practice squad, say, let's go get him. And you know what? You're in the lineup.
So you're in Jacksonville on the practice squad, and then, hey, want to get a chance to come play for a Super Bowl? I mean, that's not bad, John.
That's a nice Christmas present.
Yeah, it sure is. Eagles bringing an extra lineman here, and they're going to run it and up the gut. Look at the power from Watson. Young backs from Philly trying to show you something here.
It's power football right there on both sides from Terrell Watson. And then Kayvon Frazier coming up in the middle, a special team stud for the Dallas Cowboys, cleaning up the pile.
3rd down and 5 coming up for Philadelphia. 13th play of this drive. Wentz fires incomplete. He had him wide open. Just too much zip on it for Marshall.
And that right there, I promise you, in practice, that's something he's done, Carson Wentz, a lot with Darren Sproles. Probably not a whole lot of action with Byron Marshall, and that's just knowing. But what Carson Wentz, you don't have to zing it. Go ahead, lay it up. You've got no one out there, and make sure Byron Marshall's going to catch that. But that's just a lack of chemistry, a lack of communication between the two. He says, give me your eyes, Byron.
They didn't turn around till late, maybe throwing a little bit too hard, and just missed for a couple of rookies. Instead, a field goal attempt 33 yards from Sturgis, who missed his last attempt. This one is true, and it puts the Eagles lead up to 7 with 2:18 to go. Philadelphia in front by a touchdown.
Game is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I mean, we got to see which section's louder here in Philadelphia. 20-13, Eagles over the Cowboys. 2:18 to play. As we wrap up the regular season, welcome those of you who watch the Vikings take care of the Bears 38-10 today. As Lucky Whitehead up the gut, tackled across the 20. And good news for those of you who just joined us, you get to see a commercial. We'll be back. Sanchez on the field. Eagles by 7. Big story today is the return of Tony Romo in a game they wanted to get him some reps. Playing for the first time this season, coming off the back injury. He looked good. Came in for one drive, Johnny, led him to a touchdown.
And that's what you want. You want him to get that feel of game reps. And one series, one touchdown, that was enough for Jerry Jones, enough for Jason Garrett, Dak Prescott, and Tony Romo. They've worked great, and I really have a lot of respect for the both of them. How they've supported each other this season. It's part of the spirit of this team that's allowed them to be so successful.
Here it's in the hands of Mark Sanchez, who gets hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Pressure again from Brandon Graham, who's been a beast this afternoon.
And Brandon Graham, as we talked about earlier, his sack numbers don't wow you, but his play has wowed you all year long. That's a good tackle in Doug Free he's working against. He uses leverage, uses his arms, and then turns and rips and turns that corner. Brandon Graham been around quarterbacks all year in Philadelphia.
Johnny was a first-round pick back in 2010, but the last 2 years, he's really cemented himself. 2nd and 10. Blitz coming. Sanchez gets rid of it into the ground. Incomplete. And so a 3rd down and 10 as Prescott and Bryant look on. They're waiting for their next turn in the playoffs in 2 weeks. And this Eagles defense is trying to finish strong and get to 7 wins. Close out on a high note. 3rd and 10. Third down. Sanchez pressured again. And Fletcher Cox, he gets away. Still alive is Sanchez. More pressure. Graham is there, and he is buried. Relentless pursuit as Barwin came on to finish it off.
Now, when people say meaningless games, there are no meaningless games. These guys are playing for pride. They're playing to try to get great momentum. Brandon Graham all over the field for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes, I do.
Today's game is sponsored by Sprint. Visit Sprint.com. Switch and save today.
After that sack by Philadelphia, a 19-yard loss. So a 4th and 29. That's what you're looking at if you're Darren Sproles. As Jones on the punt. Eagles by 7 with 1:50 to go. Jones has it deflected and blocked. The ball is loose, and the Eagles will take over. Steven Means came in and got a piece. And it's a strong finish for Philadelphia and for Doug Peterson.
It really is, and that momentum, it matters. I mean, I've been on these teams. You're not going to the playoffs. Does the last win really help you? It sure does, and you see pressure right up the middle from Steven Means. Gets that big hand out there and blocks the punt from Chris Jones. Special teams have been fantastic for the Eagles all year. They got to keep those going. They got to add around that guy, and it could be some fun in Philadelphia next year.
I tell you, John, when the Eagles lost to Cincinnati a few weeks ago, that looked like an almost close to mailing it in type game, and things could have teetered the wrong way. They've played very hard for their coach since then.
Yeah, and Doug Peterson talked about the leadership of the team. Jason Peters, he mentioned Carson Wentz. Even though he's a rookie, he showed tremendous leadership. Brandon Graham, those guys kept this team together, and you're seeing the byproduct of that, a strong finish to this 2016 season.
And they're going to go for more. Why not? Up a touchdown, minute 39 to go, last game of the year, and they'll run it to Watson. And he's churning those legs. Still going. Good effort. He's down to the 3. We've got a game break. Let's check in with Carissa.
Thanks, Kevin. America's Game of the Week. You guys have covered both these teams a lot. Odell Beckham Jr. and the Giants in Washington to take on Josh Norman and the Redskins with a win. Washington is headed to the playoffs for the 2nd straight year. That is, of course, unless there's a tie in the game tonight versus Detroit and the Packers. Kevin?
Thank you, Carissa. Yeah, it's a weird anomaly. Redskins win, they're in. But for some reason, if they win and there's a tie tonight, they wouldn't get in. So odds are they win, they're in. This is what it looks like right now. Packers, Lions, big tonight. Falcons win today, John. They clinched that 2 seed in the first round bye, so that's big. Giants locked in as the 5. So a lot can happen this afternoon and obviously tonight. 2nd and goal. Eagles trying to finish up strong with a 7-point lead. Watson in the backfield. He gets it up the middle, and he's down to the 2. Well, you wonder if they're just trying to get this young man his first NFL score, John, after the story we told on him earlier.
I think they are, and he's running hard to try to do so. Jason Garrett calls timeout to try to preserve some time if they indeed do stop the Philadelphia Eagles.
I thought Jason Garrett would actually be speeding up the clock at this point.
How about Jason Garrett? I love the story. We talked to him this week, and he's known as a consistent guy. I read a story this week, and his father, who had a stroke a couple years ago, and I said, is it really true that your dad ran every day for 32 straight years? He said he didn't miss a day, and his mom used to tell him they lived on the Jersey Shore about him going out in blizzard conditions, and she'd be laughing because he's jumping over the snowbank. But he said 32 years. I think it speaks to the consistency of that guy who's done an incredible job as the leader of this team this year.
He sure has. 3rd and goal. Watson firing forward. Touchdown. Boy, does that feel good for him.
Watson's keeping that ball, and he should. What a special deal for him. Got the opportunity, making the most of it.
That's a pretty good deal by Doug Peterson to get him a score. Well, I told you about all he's gone through in his life. Practice squads with the Bengals and Browns. He just got picked up by the Eagles, and with all the injuries, he's playing today, and he's got a touchdown forever. And the Eagles will go on and win their finale to finish up 7-9 on the year and feel pretty good about themselves.
Look at him get behind that right side. Big Lane Johnson going to cave down Malik Collins. Selleck with a key block. That's great push. Winning the line of scrimmage for Terrell Watson.
That's a great picture. That's even better with his running backs coach, Deuce Staley, who scored a lot of touchdowns here in Philadelphia.
Hey, don't ever discount. You know, many a career has been made on an opportunity late in the year, and it's what you make of it. Look at him, a wise man. Yeah, there's something about these running backs taking care. We heard about Ezekiel Elliott. It was great talking to him this week. He bought ATVs for that great offensive line. He said, I said, why ATVs? I was looking for something original, no one done, and he said, and they're all country boys. And so he got him these all-terrain vehicles, and those guys, Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, Doug Free, they absolutely love that Christmas present.
I would too. And so the Cowboys won't win a record-setting 14 games. They will finish the regular season at 13-3, but they've got bigger fish to fry as 1:17 to play. John, today's game being produced by Pete Macheska, directed by Artie Kempner, part of our fantastic crew here. Technical producer Clyde Taylor. Our TD is Tom Maslak. Associate director today is Eric Mandia. Audio with Jeff Cohen. Broadcast associates Tyler Dare and Peter Greasy. Our video engineer is Steve Dressman. Many, many more. Jeff Nelson. The stats up here. Mitch Smith and Bill Harmon. Our spotters up in the booth. Danny Cochran and Max Mullen. The audio up here with us. Grant Dobbins, who not only does the high home camera, but keeps us looking clean somehow, even though that's not in his job description. Danny Steele on the cart across the way. It's been fortunate to be with this crew, and certainly you, John, for 4 years as this regular season comes to a close.
Well, that guy, what a statement he made this year in the MVP race, and it's legitimate. It's not like a throw-in. What a year Dak Prescott has had.
Here's Dunbar racing toward the first drop, and it came right back to him, and it'll go out of bounds. Well, one more thing on Dak before we go. In his season, touchdown passes by a rookie all time. Peyton Manning at 26, but threw 28 picks. Russell Wilson at 26 and 10 picks. Great year for Wilson. Look at Dak. 4 interceptions, that's it. As great as he's been, it helps him. The Cowboys run the ball 50% of the time. That's the most in the league. It all works together. They'll run here and try and run out this clock on the regular season.
And you know, Kevin, I think it's a great, you know, like for Howie Roseman to build around Carson Wentz. What did Dak Prescott have? He had the best offensive line in football. He's got receivers like Des Bryant, Cole Beasley in the slot, a running back like Ezekiel Elliott. He's got everything around him to be successful. That's what you got to go try to create for Carson Wentz in Philadelphia. For him to have a chance to be the talent that he is, to have that talent really come to fruition.
But I think at the very least, even though you know there's work to do, the hardest part you have, at least you hope, you think, you've got the quarterback. That's the hardest thing to get.
And it was real thoughtful on their part. They looked at the quarterback class this year. They didn't see a great class, so they said, you know what, we got to make our move
right now.
Right now. That was last year, and they did.
The Cowboys right now is everything. They're going to have the #1 seed, a first-round bye, and they're trying to get to a Super Bowl for the first time since 1995. And that's going to be the guy to try and lead them there. But today belongs to the Eagles. 27-13, they win their regular season finale and knock off the Cowboys here today. Doug Peterson finishes up strong with a couple wins over his division rivals. The Cowboys lose today, but they have their sights set on the playoffs with a first-round bye coming in 2 weeks as Garrett and Peterson with a warm embrace at midfield. The Eagles win it 27-13 here from Philadelphia. Hope everyone has a happy New Year. Thanks for watching here today. Pam Oliver, John Lynch, our entire NFL on Fox crew. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Thanks for watching. Plenty more to do. The postgame show with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy comes up after the break. We'll see you.